oh, we're going to have nooners. It's going to be great. We're going to have sex on the counter. And yeah, I mean, that may happen once, maybe in the beginning, maybe a couple of times, but then we just got busy with life. Welcome to episode 7 of Naked Talk with Unprocessed Jess. In this episode, we're going to be talking about reconnecting with your partner and how vacations can help you do that. So now that you've got those round butts and flat guts, or if it's a work in progress, we talked about those in episode 6, it's time to get them some sun and fun and get away with your honey buns or loved one. So my husband and I are leaving to Punta Cana in a couple of days. And don't you love hearing that? Just saying that, Punta Cana. It just sounds kind of erotic and sexy, doesn't it? So anyway, I digress. But we are leaving in a couple of days. So I thought I would share how a vacation we took last year on our 10-year anniversary really was instrumental in us reconnecting and just having fun again with each other. When I think of a vacation now, I think of the fresh food and beautiful beaches and coconut drinks and great sex on repeat, but it wasn't always like that. In episode 1, I share a little bit of my story and how my husband and I reconnected 11 years ago, and I had a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. And his boys were teens. So as you can imagine, if you have children or know someone who does or have been around children, either of those ages, it can be challenging. So a lot of our talks consisted of him calling me on his drive home from work. We didn't live together. And I would be giving my girls a bath. And then I was exhausted. And then we got married. And I share a little bit as well as how I envision like, oh, we're going to have nooners. It's going to be great. We're going to have sex on the counter. And yeah, I mean, that may happen once, maybe in the beginning, maybe a couple of times. But then we just got busy with life, right? Work, businesses, kids, drop-offs, activities. And we just got in the rut and routine of life. And it wasn't that it was a bad thing, right? We're growing as a family. We added another child to our family when I had my daughter. And it was just going along, but it was just that. It was going along. And fast forward 10 years into our marriage, and we realized we hadn't really been on a true long vacation since our wedding. So for that, because of, having little kids and teenage boys and things and the length of the trip, my husband's from England, we decided to do I don't even know what you would call that. It was before the wedding. So we did like a honeymoon before the wedding, and we went to England, and I got to meet a lot of his family, but we hadn't been anywhere since then on a long vacation, that wasn't rushed in 10 years. So we just said, you know what? Screw it. Like, we're going to stop obsessing over who's going to watch the kids and stressing over all of these things. And we're just going to figure it out, right? So, and that's what happened. Family of mine stepped in, and we also have grown sons, and one of them is wonderful with watching the kids, he and his wife. So that's what we did. We booked it and said, nope, we're going to do this. So just being away from the kids and the house and the chores and businesses and the POA, taxes, all those things that tie us down mentally really help us to just get away from that and just to focus back on ourselves and each other. So we stayed at the Hapuna Prince Resort, and it was right on the ocean, our room, and it was amazing. I share a video of that on my IGTV. If you don't know what that is, Instagram now has a place where you can go and do videos. And so I share, I think it's of me when we're entering the hotel, and it is so beautiful, y'all. You walk in and it's open. It's a really circular type of entryway, but it's open and you can see the palm trees and the ocean from the entrance. So you can go onto my Instagram and click the IGTV icon and look at that. Yeah, so after a full day there, And of course, we checked on the girls, checked on the boys, told everyone we were there and where we were. Once that was done, I just allowed myself to relax and soak it all in and enjoy myself and my husband. And maybe you're someone who does this already regularly in your relationship, and that's wonderful. I have a lot of friends who they take time out with their husbands or wives or boyfriends or girlfriends alone several times a year, but that just wasn't us. And when we would go, we would stress so much about everything. It really just wasn't enjoyable, or we would just give up and say, you know what, it's too much work. And we even got to a point where we weren't even doing date nights regularly because of the logistics involved in preparing. So for us, our marriage was great. We get along, we argue over very little things, and if it is, it's minor, and it's usually not anything to do with us, honestly. It's family or other situations that we can't control. And we had sex, and it was there, and it was good, but it hit me that we just weren't as flirty and fun anymore with each other. And I'd allowed a lot of tragedies that we'd gone through and drama from other people that we couldn't control affect me and just steal some of my joy slowly, bit by bit. And before I knew it, I just wasn't the person that I was. And I kind of wanted to be her again. I used to be funny, y'all. Like, I was funny and witty, and I wanted some of that back. I really wanted that spark again. So you know what? I said, shoot, I'm just going to ignite it. So somewhere between the palm trees and the ocean breeze, I just surrendered to my sexuality and said, hey, I'm just going to let whatever happens happen. And I'm just going to be free and be myself and see if I can find that girl who felt sexy and beautiful again. I also wanted my husband to know how much I appreciate him and love him. And I'm pretty good about telling him this on a regular basis, but I also wanted him to know that he is still wanted by me. He still turns me on, and I still am so blessed to have him as a husband. And he works hard, just like I do, on keeping his body fit. And his lats and traps are amazing, y'all. Like, I love him, and I think in the day-to-day life, I don't want to say we take it for granted, because we can be telling our husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend that we like these things about them and appreciate them. But sometimes we need to do more than tell them. We need to show them, if that makes sense. So I just thought, okay, here we are in one of the most beautiful places in the world, and we have food, beach, sex, and drinks on the menu every day. So this should totally be easy, right? This is my chance to get this going. So I just jumped on it. No pun intended. And the second day, we drove to Hilo. It's beautiful waterfalls. And the drive was gorgeous. I don't know what was in that waterfall, but something magical happened in the car after seeing it. I remember us driving up there, getting out of the car, looking around, and I don't know if it was just the ambiance of the place that we were or reading about the waterfalls, but it did something to me. So now, if you've been married for a while, or if you're, I guess, any older than college age, you probably haven't done a lot of spontaneous sexual things outside of the bedroom, or maybe that's just me. I don't know. But I really hadn't. I just thought, okay, we're going to have sex at nighttime, when we can fit it in, when I'm not too tired, and that'll be that. But there's something different about being in an exotic location and where no one knows you, and it just allows you to be uninhibited and more in touch with your sexual side. Aloha! Hilo and the Big O were definitely the highlights of that day for me. There were many more moments that only my husband and I will know about that happened on that vacation. And even though they won't make it into our photo albums, I guess you could say, they're definitely in our minds. And Yeah, once I got a taste of that, I thought, yeah, baby, like this is what vacations are all about when the kids are not with us. It's time to just relax and make those moments and make it worth the money and the time and stress that we put into figuring out where kids are going and getting them to their activities and the rescue dog, what we're going to do with her. So yeah, this is definitely something that we look forward to on our vacays. So speaking of sex, I want to share something that I found. I'm all about, this is called Naked Talk, and one of the reasons I call this podcast Naked is because I love living life less processed, and if I could find products that are more natural and have less chemicals in them, or they leave a smaller footprint on the world, I am all for it. So I found something called, it's Good Clean Love, and it's called Almost Naked. It's a personal lubricant, and it's 95% organic. It doesn't have any chemicals or parabens or glycerin, and it's cruelty-free, 100% vegan and gluten-free, and it's safe to use with latex. And I will say that as I've gotten older, I've shared before that I'm 41. I'm starting to notice that a lube isn't something that's this would be nice to have type of thing, but it's really becoming necessary for me to have a really good sexual experience, and that's the whole point of it, right? You want to have fun. So you can check that out. I'll put a link to that on the show notes, and I'll also be sharing some other natural things that we can do to keep our experience the best that it can be on my blog and other social media. So how long has it been since you've reconnected with your partner? If you had to take too long to answer, then that's too long. So book your vacation now. If you don't have the time or budget right now for a vacation, try a staycation. Or if that's still out of the budget, farm those kids out to some friends or family and tell them, hey, we'll do the same for you. We'll watch your kids another time and make your marriage or your relationship a priority and get it done. So an idea that you can do is maybe on your next vacation, make a list, and you can, put some things that you would like to try out in the bedroom or that you would like to have done to you, and have your partner do the same. And then y'all can exchange that list and y'all can read it while you're on vacation, once you're already relaxed in a sexy setting. And I know for me, I don't drink hardly ever. I'm talking vacations, reunions, like very seldom. But on vacation, I usually have a couple drinks a day just to kind of not be so uptight that I can tend to get from time to time in my everyday life. So have it be a casual, sexy setting where you're uninhibited and just read that list. And there might be some and they're like, okay, no. Or it might be like, oh, I had no idea like you would even like that. Or, let's try it. So you never know. There's a good idea. And also, if you're not approaching your partner, then ask yourself, why not? Is it because you just haven't thought about it, or you weren't putting your sexual experience as that big of a deal to you? And why? Is it because you're uncomfortable with your body, or maybe you're feeling bloated and have digestive issues? That's something I cover in episode 3, and I go a little bit into that in episode 2, my sex and sleep episode, because when you don't feel your best, you are self-conscious, and especially being naked and having someone around those areas, it can really keep you from just being as free as you want to be. So those are things to ask yourself. Or maybe if you're not having something done to you during this experience and you would like it, maybe that's the case, but your partner does not know if you don't explain that to him or her. They're not going to know. So let's carry this conversation on, and I want to invite you to join the Naked Talk Facebook community. I literally just started this, y'all, and I thought, how cool would it be to connect in a more personal level with you and to have you ask questions. I can go on there live once a week and do a Just Ask Jess Q&A. I'm going to have guests on there bringing us topics that we care about in all different areas of our health. I always say health is more than looking hot naked and eating greens, although that's a bonus. It is all areas of our life, and they all affect each other. We cannot compartmentalize. It's a holistic approach, meaning we're approaching the whole person, and all areas of our life make up us, right? And affect our health. So go on there and join. I'll be sharing tips, and we can go a little bit more into this week's episode on there. I'll give you some other things that you can maybe try. I'd love to see where you've gone on vacation or ideas that you've used to reconnect in your relationship. And yeah, I'm super excited. You know how you just feel like you know someone better or get a better feel for them when you see them talking? I talk a lot with my hands and I have mannerisms just like you do. So I'm really excited about this. So get on there and join. It's Naked Talk on Facebook, and I will talk to you in episode 8. Bye.